Hey, what's going on? This is Mike Kollin, and this is another video in the series of interesting, funny, and curious facts about the differences between men and women. Okay, this one is fitting in perfect. If you've been watching the video series, this is like the 5th video, I think. I don't know exactly. But the number will be on the title, so you'll be able to go back to the last one. So, well, you should be following all of them, so then it all kinds of combines, especially right now. This is going to be a funny one. And women are going to be a little bit embarrassed, but hey, that's okay. Alright, man smells. Here's the funny thing. Let me check one thing real quick. Hold on. Okay. Sorry. Here's the funny thing about it. Most men, not all men, I would say modern men, okay? Modern men that are what I'm called brainwashed or conditioned. You know, be a good boy, take a shower, get your hair cut. Now here's the thing though. The male brain is really designed for cleanliness and for number one, because the left brain is about step 1, step 2. It's this whole like analytical, and you know, if he's really analytical, like everything wants everything in order. Not just him, the female. The more you use your left brain, you're doing. I've actually met a lot of women that are really analytical to the point where I don't want to be around. Like, oh my god, you know, they got like phobias to everything, and this is what causes phobias. But that's another story. It's another video. So here's the point. I went through the military, and the one thing they did was everything was regimented. And even in football and boxing, everything had to be clean and wrapped up right and perfect and perfectly dried and this and that. And I remember in the military they told us, they're like, well, if you get so much as a scratch and you don't clean that immediately, because I remember I looked at the drill sergeant, it's just a little scratch. Like, what's the freaking big deal? He's like, son, out in the field, when you're out in the field for 2 weeks to a month or 5 weeks and you can't just go to a hospital, that little scratch can turn freaking green. So you need to take care of that now. And that really kind of put a twist on it. And so the left brain is more analytical. The right brain is more about, you know, more comfort and, you know, smooth and soft and warm and, you know, more about sensuality. It's about artistic. It's where the left brain's kind of like in the box and step 1, step 2, math and science, etc. So here's the thing that blew my mind. So the male brain's the left brain. So the farther you go to the left brain, the less you connect or you disconnect from the right brain, from your 5 senses: see, hear, feel, smell, and taste. All right. So this is what I'm talking about. Man smells about. Now here's something that shocked the living crap out of me. I'm going to go into a couple different ways of explaining this. God, where do I start? I was at the grocery store one time, and I don't know if it was my girlfriend first, if it was a lady. Yeah, it was a lady, and I brought it up to her, and then I noticed she did it. And I noticed, because I started meditating a lot, and now meditation makes you very aware of what's going on around you. Because you tune more into your right brain, your 5 senses, okay? And so it's literally like the caveman. So you're more aware of, you know, you could smell a lion from, I don't know, 100 yards, 300 yards away. Your hearing's more acute. Your vision is, colors pop more and they're more vibrant, and versus, oh, it's green, or, whoa, that's electric green. That's fucking cool. And I noticed this woman in line had gotten closer to me. She leaned forward, and she was smelling me, and I was like, what the fuck? And so I went home and told my girlfriend. I was like, hey man, this woman, you know, she's a very pretty lady, and she was leaning forward and she was smelling me. And my girlfriend goes, oh yeah, I do that all the time. I'm like, what? Why? She goes, I don't know, I can't help it. I like to smell like the back of your neck. It smells so good. And I started doing research, and I believe one of the books that you can that I highly recommend for anyone to understand, you know, our mating system and why we do what we do. And it also goes into why women cheat on men, okay? For reproductive purposes and survival and, you know, all that stuff. And I believe it was in that book. It might have been somewhere else, but I've read it in a couple different places about the whole smell thing. Actually, I've actually read it in at least 3 that I can think of right now. And I think this book, oh, by the way, the name of the book, believe it or not, it's called Sperm Wars. And I can't remember the name. I believe it's a husband and wife, Dr. So-and-so. I was back in college when I took it, in psychology class or human sexuality. Get the book Sperm Wars. It is a scientific journey of, I know the name sounds like what, but it explains the whole idea of human reproduction and dating and relationships and mating systems, and it really is not. It's a pretty long, in-depth book, but it's worth it. Okay, I read at least half of it. Just get the book and read it. So it was talking about how male testosterone and pheromones are released through our pores in the back of the neck and the top and our groin area and our armpits, and it really attracts women. And now here's the funny thing. My brother-in-law, this was years ago, here I was, Mr. Kickboxers, and ranked number one in the nation in the IKF, and, I was in perfect shape and had my, haircut every week. I think literally every week, or every 10 days. No, it's every week back then. Now it's about every 10 days or so. But I was getting my haircut every week, and everything was perfect. Brushed my teeth 3 times a day, and was flossing, and we're walking through the parking lot of this grocery store, and these cute girls were just eyeballing. Now, he's older than me, and I was like 26, 27, or something like that. And I'm like, at first, what is it about you? You got a big gut, he's got zits, and he's got a scraggly beard, and he stunk. And I mean freaking stunk. We'd work all day out in the heat, he'd sweat, he'd wear the same clothes, literally, he'd wear the same shirt and jeans, socks and underwear and shoes 5 freaking days or 4 days a week. And it was like 100 some degrees outside every day. And I just thought this guy was just freaking disgusting. And I mean, the smell wise. And he ate at Burger King every day. And literally, I mean every day. I don't mean once, I don't mean that kind of, I mean literally. He was not into health food. He'd always like, why do you eat carrots and celery? I'm like, dude, I'm trying to be healthy. I'm trying to stay in shape for, kickboxing. He's you're a waste of time, man. And these girls were checking him out as always and kind of flirting and looking at him, and he just kept going on. I got work to do, and I'm like, fuck, what the fuck is it about you? You're not, I think he's like an inch shorter than me too. And he said, you just don't get it, man. He goes, look, you're like a pretty boy. He goes, perfect. Everything is nice. You need to gain 10 pounds. I go, I can't. I'm staying in shape for kickboxing. I can't just gain weight. And you know what? I made a video that I haven't uploaded yet, but I talk about this, and it's about the belly. If you're not competing in sports or like a fighter, you can be in between fights for 6 months, so gain a belly. Notice what happens. Women will start coming around you. It's the old caveman thing where they're attracted, like this guy can feed himself. So that's not what this video is about. But he was right. He goes, Michael, you got to stop tucking your shirt in. You got to stop being perfect. Don't take a shower. And I'm like, no, fuck that. And this is why I was bringing up the military thing, because I love to be clean. And it's not even for attracting women. It's like I like to take showers. It relaxes my body. I like to be clean. And as I started doing research, it is a much more male thing, because men would go out and hunt. And they'd have to, they couldn't get infected, and they'd have to clean it. And in the military, you had to trim your nails, and you had to stay on top of all this stuff. So for war and hunting and all this stuff, cleanliness is vital to survival, especially back then. And here's the other thing I put together. The right brain is the female brain, the 5 senses: see, hear, feel, smell, and taste. A lot of guys haven't noticed, but women, when they eat chocolate, they eat chocolate. When they're drinking delicious wine, they're just like, they're almost having sex. And their smells, like when a man stinks, he's got all this man smell, even if it's grimy, she might even say, oh, you stink, but it really turns him on. So it's kind of a conflict there. And I read a couple of books that were like, look, man, don't take a shower every day if you want to attract women. Let your pheromones, let your testosterone go out. And I'm like, no freaking way. And there's this one guy that was saying, don't take a shower for 3 days. Wear the same clothes for 3 days. And back then I was like, I can't do that, So my point being is I started noticing how women were drawn towards me more, and they were really attracted. Now I know this sounds kind of funny, but what I'm trying to tell you guys is stop washing off all your pheromones. Now, I'm not saying be a stink master, because that's not necessary. Here's an idea. This is what I do. I'll wear like a shirt for about 3 or 4 hours, right? And then when I come home, I'll hang it up and I'll throw on a t-shirt or another shirt or something. So now it's got a little bit of your smells on it, okay? So, and another thing I do is I don't wash my jeans every day. I used to wear pants one day and wash it. I don't do that. I'm too busy now. I'm making videos. I've got my business. I'm trying to get my business going and all that stuff. And so now it's like out of convenience, man, I don't wash my jeans. So now you've got a lot of this pheromone stuff going on. And again, I dress like this all the time. I'm clean, I smell clean, but there's enough there to where she can be attracted to you. I think that's it for this video. I just wanted to throw that in there because I personally found that to be a very interesting thing about how women can be attracted to a guy who stinks. Now, there's someone else who I just taught this to last night, and he starts laughing. I'm not going to say who it is because of the other person. He goes, "Oh my God, my sister's last boyfriend, he freaking stunk." He goes, "We could be in the kitchen, they could be in the freaking living room." He goes, "We could smell him," and she's all cuddled up to him. And I'm like, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. To a guy, it's absolutely nasty. But to some women, and I want to say a lot of women, it's like it can be very attractive. So hey, this is Mike Kollin at MikeKollin.com. Guys, if you're watching these videos and you really want to get a deeper understanding, buy my book, Crack the Female Code, at crackthefemalecode.com. Remember to subscribe, and if you really want to master this stuff and really take a massive leap forward and to open the door to learning a lot, take my 10-session course. I might even do now 7 sessions, but that's not really going to help you. If you're married, you can get away with that because the last couple pieces are really about pickup, and we go out in the field, and I'll walk you through it. 10 sessions is a good chunk. They're about 3 hours, and it will give you a really strong idea of what's going on, and it'll give you a bunch of tools to begin to use and practice. And you can come back later, or you can continue the sessions, but it's a 10-session chunk. Hey, this is Mike Kollin at MikeKollin.com. We've got workshops and seminars coming up here in the San Francisco Bay Area, Emeryville, Berkeley, Walnut Creek, and also Pleasant Hill, actually. We have a place out there. We're doing our seminars, workshops, and trainings. And ladies, remember, we have trainings on communication and understanding for you on how to make your relationship better and funner. This is Mike Kollin. See you soon.